The second area we want to look at on the topic corruption, a killer of potentials, is the corruption in the civil service. Now, after teaching for several years, I find my way into this mainstream of the civil service. Now, in the mainstream of the civil service, I was posted to the Ministry of Agriculture. And when I came to the Ministry of Agriculture, the first corruption case I saw was a situation where the ministry made a proposal to His Excellency for approval for stocking of a fish pond. There were fish ponds that were very large like borrow pits that were owned by the ministry. So we all sat down as a ministry and felt that if we stock those fish ponds, it will help us. One will be able to practice what we are talking about in the agri sector. It will give the state a kind of a name if we stock those fish ponds and it is harvested and sold. And it will also generate income for the ministry and the state. So a memo was raised to that effect, and approval was given. Now, when the approval came, the commissioner first of all took part of his part of this money as if it is his own personal money, and now gave the balance to the director of fisheries to go and stock the pond. Now, the director of fisheries, having known that the commissioner has collected his own part, the permanent secretary has also eaten his own part, he also now decided that maybe me too, I will do something so that at the end of the day, me too, I will get something. Now, he went ahead. Ordinarily, when you want to stock a pond, you need to prepare the pond. You have to build the pond, line it, to make sure that there are no foreign agents that will eat up the fingerlings in that pond, and prepare the pond properly for stocking before you stock. We don't know what happened, because in order to cut corners so that you will make extra money, the pond was not properly prepared, and the man went and then bought fingerlings and just poured them into the pond. Now, the actual number of fingerlings that were expected to be bought, nobody knows. You just go buy the ones he wants to buy and then pour it into the pond. And a budget was approved for a weekly feeding of these fishes that were stocked in this fish pond. So every week he will go there, sign the money, buy feeds, and then take it to the fish ponds and be feeding the fish ponds, the fish that are in the pond. Up to the extent that it has taken some time, it was getting to the time that there will be harvest on these ponds. And it corresponds with the time that our president was to visit the state in that particular period. So because of the fact that the governor knew that he has released money for the stocking of these large fish ponds, he knows, and knowing that our president who was a farmer, has interest in farming, that particular project was also scheduled among the places that the president will visit during the state visit. So when this schedule came out, the ministry sat down and said that this one, that we know that our president is an agric man, that it will be fine for us to go and see what is happening in the pond first, so that we know how to receive him during the visit. So a team was set up to go to the fish pond to see exactly what was happening. They went there with feeds, and then they tested it, and it was surprising that there was nothing reasonable in that pond. So they said that if this man that is a farmer, if he comes here and he realizes that there are no fishes here, that it will look so bad. So let us try and scoop and see exactly what is inside this pond before the president comes, in preparation for receiving the president. So they went there and scooped and dragged the net and dragged from one end of the pond to the other, only to see large frogs and other things. It was very surprising that the process that was supposed to be done to be followed in order to get a good harvest was not followed. Everybody was cutting corners. Everybody was just after the money. And at the end of the day, the project failed. And seeing quite well that there are no fish in that pond, they have to go back to meet the governor to say that, look, it will not be proper for the president to visit that pond, that the president is somebody who is a farmer. And he understands some of these things. That in actual fact, there is nothing in that pond. It takes grace for His Excellency the Governor to forgive that ministry. I don't know how they managed to pass the message to him to understand that there are no fish in that pond. And from that incident, it affected the ministry for so many years. Throughout the reign of that governor, the ministry did not get any other approval. Now, if assuming that these things were properly done, that the fish pond was properly prepared, the money was used to prepare the fish pond, was properly stocked, and we have a good harvest, it would have given us a different perspective. The ministry would have been enjoying approvals and subsequent approvals. But because corruption was the order of the day, everybody wants to take what he wants to take out of what is supposed to be used to do what is supposed to be done by the ministry. We run into a situation where the entire ministry was like it was blacklisted. Now, this is just one department in the ministry. This is one ministry among ministries, among so many ministries in the state. Now, if you use this example and then you see what is happening, the kind of corruption, and then the kind of projects that are supposed to be promoted, that will create employment, that will generate money for the state, and make sure that everybody is working. Because of corruption, most of these projects are not working. And it is common in most of the ministries. It's the same thing. Everywhere you go, the corruption has killed the potentials of this ministry. And now if one department is affected, it affects the entire ministry. If one ministry is affected, it affects the entire state. And that is how the corruption has been killing the potentials of states, potentials of various ministries. Ordinarily, ministries that are supposed to be shining and generating funds for the states, to enable the state use the funds to expand or construct projects, are not generating funds, because corruption will not allow them to generate funds. They will not be able to do things that will enable them to generate funds, even though monies are released to them on annual basis. Now, you see how corruption has killed the potentials of many ministries, many departments, many states in the federation. And that is exactly what is even happening even at the federal level. Monies will be released for projects and the monies will not go for the projects. And every day we keep on complaining that things are not working. The government is not doing well. We as individuals, as civil servants, have you checked yourself? What is your contribution? What are you doing to ensure that things are working well in the ministries and in the department where you work? So we can see clearly that corruption is our problem. Corruption is what is killing us. Every individual sees corruption as a way of life. If you are not corrupt, if you think differently, then it's like you are a black goat. It's like it has become a part of our lifestyle. So if you are not corrupt, you don't belong. These are things that is not supposed to be so. That's why we are doing these videos, to enable people to understand that that is not supposed to be the way it should be. That is, people should stand and make sure that these things are corrected so that the nation can move forward, so that we can advance as other nations in the world. Most of these things are found in the African countries. Most African countries are operating under this kind of corrupt systems, which is not supposed to be so. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to this channel, share these videos and make your comment. Thank you.